Before we get started with the video, you may have noticed my new YouTube icon. This is something that was done by a good friend of mine named Nero, who's an artist. Along with art, he also plays Smash Brothers, and he's really good and really fun to watch. I'll link his YouTube along with any other social media I can find in the description. I think you really like his stuff, and he's a great guy. Now then, onto the video itself. Hello there everyone, and welcome to another tier list, where this time it's relevant because we're ranking Fire Emblem Three Houses characters. Three Houses is a game that I can't wait for. I've been really excited for it, and you know, now that we have a good amount of information about all the characters, I think this is a good time to do this. This isn't actually all of the characters though, it's only the Houses characters. So like it's only the Black Eagles, the Blue Lions, and the Golden Deer, and then also Byleth. So it doesn't have every character, but that's fine, because these characters are the ones I know the most about, and the ones I feel most comfortable ranking. Now, since the game isn't out yet, this is just a first impression sort of thing, based off of the information that's been presented, you know, the videos, the articles, the blogs, the voice lines, anything that's been given to us so far. I've looked at it, and I've got a pretty good idea of how I feel about these characters. After the game is out, and I've played through all of the paths, and I have all of the information, and having played the game, I'll probably revisit this and see what's changed. You know, do I like someone more? Do I like them less? And I think it'll be really fun, so let's just get started. So first we have Annette, and she easily goes into S tier. What really sold me on Annette for S tier was probably the voice lines. I think that they fit her very nice, they're really cute, they go a lot with her personality, and also her general design, and it really makes me like her as a character. It really makes me feel like this is someone I'm gonna like, you know? She has this cute, charming personality to her, she has a very nice design, and I really just like her voice lines and her voice in general. It's really good. One of my favorite characters. Next is Ash, and I'll put Ash in B tier. Ash isn't bad, but we just don't really know too much about him. Like, first of all, I'm gonna say I love his design. Design-wise, he's one of my favorites, and that's because I love the hood that he has. Like, he has his hoodie under his uniform, and then the hood is just like popping out from behind, and it's really unique. It makes him stand out, and I love that about him. As for his backstory, I think it's pretty unique that, you know, he's adopted, and that's something that we haven't really established too much in Fire Emblem. Like, I know we had Nino and her whole backstory with her family, and I don't think Ash is gonna go in the same direction, but it's still something interesting, something unique that I'm looking forward to. Other than that, though, I don't know too much about him. There hasn't been too much. Like, I don't really know too much about his personality. I don't know too much about his interests or his goals or anything. I just know, you know, he wants to be a knight, he's adopted, and he looks cool. He's a good character, but not that great compared to the others, so B tier. Verna Detta easily gets S tier, easily the top. She is without a doubt my favorite character. I absolutely love Verna Detta. She's just so small and precious, and all you want to do is just protect her for her entire life, because she's just this poor sheltered child who just wants to stay in her room and read her books. Why can't you just let her read her books, man? Come on, she doesn't have to go outside. Her room has everything she needs. Haven't you ever seen that episode of SpongeBob, the Indoors song? That is Bernadetta's life right there. Indoors, indoors, indoors. I'm sorry for my terrible singing. But yeah, Bernadetta's just like, I love her so much, man. Her design, like, I know people were making fun of her hair because it's all messy and stuff, but come on, she's gonna be in her house. She doesn't need to care about her appearance. Like, so what if her hair's a mess? She's inside of her house in her own space. She has her little bubble, and she's happy in there. Like, I just want her to live the best life that she can live without everyone dragging her out of her room. And the sad part is, I'm picking Blue Lions, so in order to recruit her, I have to drag her out of her room. So it's gonna kill me a little bit, but I need to do it, because I need to make sure that Verna Detta is protected from everyone who would wish her harm. Byleth, I'm gonna put in C tier, just because, we don't really know anything about Byleth. I know they don't want to give away too much information about Byleth because as the main character, the story revolves around Byleth, and giving away too much could potentially spoil the story, but at the same time, I don't feel Byleth is that developed. I don't know anything about them. I like their design, they look cool. I like the fact that they're technically not avatars because they don't seem to be fully customizable. So that's cool that they won't be a blank slate, they'll have an active personality, which is important for a main character. But, I don't know. There's just not too much to them. I'm interested in the relationship we're gonna have with Geralt with our father. I think that's pretty cool, but other than that, there's not much to say about them. Next is Casper, and he's going into C tier. I know a lot of people like to make fun of Casper because of his hair, and yeah, I don't like the hair either, but the reason I'm putting Casper in C tier is less about his looks and more about his personality. And that being, his personality is kind of boring for me. Like, his whole thing is, you know, he's reckless and hot-headed and temperamental and stuff, and I think that's supposed to contrast with his, like, his smaller appearance. Like, he's this small guy, but he's all feisty and rough and stuff, and I mean, I guess that could work, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm just not sold on Casper. Besides the fact that his design is one of the weakest ones here, and his hair just is not good, his personality doesn't really do much for me either. He's not terrible, but he's just really weak compared to everyone else. I'm really hoping he's gonna grow on me when I play with the Black Eagles, because I really want to like all of these characters. All these characters have something that I like about them, but Casper's on the weaker end, so I'm really hoping he grows on me. Claude, oh, this is gonna be the controversial one. How fun. Claude is overrated in my book. Like, I don't get why everyone loves him. Like, yeah, he looks cool, and yeah, he's the nice guy, and he has a charming and suave personality. That's cool. I like that, but he's just kind of boring. Hopefully, my perception of him changes as I play the story. Hopefully, there's more layers to him. But as is, he seems like the boring one amongst the three. Like, comparing him to Dmitri and Dimitri and Edelgard seem way more complex, way more three-dimensional. They seem like such good and strong characters that are gonna have so much change and growth. And Claude, on the other hand, is just the charming, nice guy. Like, he's just that guy that every girl wants to date. And every guy wants to date. But, I don't know, he doesn't do it for me. He doesn't do anything for me. Like, I don't hate him, but I don't see why he's so popular. He's just a good-looking guy. That's all I can say about him. He's just suave. And I guess if you like suaveness, then yeah, that's something. But, I don't know. I'm putting a C tier. Dimitri goes into S tier, because Dimitri is my favorite of the three lords, and one of my favorite characters overall. Ever since we first got our first glimpse of the three main lords, Dimitri was automatically my favorite. I love this guy. For starters, he uses a lance, and I just love lance units. Like, lances are so cool, and lance units are so good. So the fact that his main weapon is a lance, that was an immediate sell for me. Secondly is his design. Like, I never understood the memes of people making fun of his hair. I actually like his hair. Like, yeah, I get, like, oh, it's the McDonald's M thing, but I don't know. There's something about his hair that I just love. Like, I just love it. And the blonde really works for him. It works really nice. Like, the style and the color work together to make something I really like. And beyond that, just his general outfit. Like, the blue stripes across him, like the blue sash and shoulder and cape and stuff. Like, that looks really cool. I love his design overall. Like, he just looks so nice. And his personality, I really love how he's just, like, so bent on justice and righteousness and protecting the weak. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing how he grows and how his perception of strong versus weak changes and all of the conflicts he has to go through. And I mean, yeah, post time skip, we got to see he was really messed up. Like, he's really had a bad life, and I just want to see who hurt him. I want to see who hurt Dimitri so I can hurt them. Because why would you do that to poor Dimitri, man? The guy just wants justice and righteousness, and then you take away his eye. Come on. I don't know. I love Dimitri. I love him. He's so good. I can't wait to see his story, man. I hope it's as good as I want it to be, because I am so excited for Dimitri's story and the Blue Lion's path. Like, I feel it's gonna be so good. Like, one of the best stories I've ever experienced. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm thinking it's gonna be. But I don't know. Hopefully I'm not wrong about this. Dorothea, she gets S tier. And she gets S tier because, I like her design. And no, it's not because of the hat. Everyone loves her design because, oh, she has a JoJo hat. The hat's cool, I like it, but it's not the main selling point for me. For me, it's just her design overall, her general aesthetic. I love the fact that she's a commoner, because the Black Eagles don't have too many of those. And I love the past that she has with Professor Manuela. I'm really interested in where that's gonna go, how that's gonna build her up, how it's gonna, make her unique. I feel like she has a really good story to tell, and I can't wait for it. I love her design, I love her personality seems okay. There's not too much of it so far. I don't have a good grasp of her personality compared to others. But from what I can tell, I feel like I'm gonna like her. Like, I'm just really gonna like her overall. Didu, another one that goes into S tier. I love Didu, man. This guy is so cool. Like, he's that trope where it's the big tough guy who's actually a nice guy. And I really like that trope. Like, yeah, it can be a little overplayed and a little overdone, but I think it can also be done really well. I think it's a really strong trope that you just have to work with it. Like, Fates did it with Benny, and it was okay there. Like, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't terrible either. I like Benny, he's alright. And I feel Didu is gonna do it really well, because, you know, he's just like, he's this big buff guy, and he's really intimidating, but he likes gardening and animals, and he's polite and kind. And I just feel like I love that. I love contrasting personalities and designs. Like with Casper, I said, you know, he's temperamental but short, and that's something. Like, Casper doesn't have as much as Didu has, and that's why Didu is way better character so far for me. Because the other thing that he has is his past with Dmitri, and how he owes him a life debt and stuff. And I just really am gonna love to see their dynamic and how they interact and stuff. I think it's gonna be really good. I can't wait for it. Edelgard goes into A tier, and there's not too much to say about her. I love her design. Like, her design is probably my favorite of the three between Dimitri, Edelgard, and Claude. Between them three, her design is probably my favorite. I love everything about her design. Her personality seems really interesting. Like, it sounds like she wants to be a good person, but her ideologies aren't exactly the best. And I'm really interested in how that's gonna form, how it's going to change her, how it's gonna, you know, affect her and everything. So she's really interesting. I'm really looking forward to playing through her path and playing as her. Or, not as her, but you know what I mean. I just think it's gonna be great, you know? I think it's really interesting. It's something to look forward to. Not as... like, she's not as great as Dmitri in my book, because Dmitri just has everything going for him, but she's really strong too, so A tier. Felix goes into S tier. I love everything about Felix, man. I love his design, his hair is really cool. I love, his personality seems like it's gonna be great. Like, he seems like the stoic swordsman, because Fire Emblem always has a stoic swordsman, but I think that's gonna be so cool, because, like, you know, he's friends with Dimitri, so he's not an entirely stoic swordsman, but at the same time, you know, he's a loner. He's by himself. He's very serious. He's strict. He's hardworking. And I really like that about this guy. I feel like he's gonna be really cool. Like, in general, I love the stoic swordsman, and Felix really looks like he's gonna fit the part perfectly. I can't wait to see how that plays out. I love it. Ferdinand. Ferdinand, do I want to do A or S? I'll do S. Ferdinand deserves S. Ferdinand gets S tier because, for starters, I love his drive and his passion. He wants to be number one. He wants to be the best. He wants to be on top of everyone. And that includes being on top of Edelgard. Like, even though she's house leader, he's determined to be better than her. He's determined to be the top, to be number one. I love his drive and his passion, and I can't wait to see where that takes him, what lengths he'll go to reach his goals and to reach what he's committed to. I really love that about him. Furthermore, I love his design. He looks really cool. I love his hair. I love how, just his general posture in that portrait. I think it's really cool. And I just love everything about this guy. Like, he's really cool. I can't wait to see him go. And I want him to be number one. I want him to be the top of the Black Eagles. Except maybe Verna Detta. She can be above him. But I want him to reach his goals. I want him to go forth and pass Edelgard and be the top like he wants to. Because I think he's really committed. And I also love the little scarf that he has. I think that's so cool. I like scarves in general. And I don't actually know, it's not a scarf. It's, what is it called? Not an ascot, I can't remember the word right now, but the thing that he has, it's really cool, I like it. Hilda, I'll put in A tier. She would be S tier, but she's an A tier for just one sole reason, and that being the fact that I think it's getting just a little overplayed how lazy she is. Like, I know that's her character. She's the nobleman's daughter, and she's lazy because, you know, she's used to not having to do anything. And I think it works. I think it's gonna work great. I think it's gonna be really cool. But I don't know, I just think it's already starting to get a little overplayed. Like, they made the same joke 3 times in 3 different promotional materials. Oh, if you saw lazy in the dictionary, Hilda's picture would be next to her. They used that exact same joke 3 times. Like, I don't know, maybe have some diversity with it. Like, I love Hilda. I love her design. Her voice lines are really good. I like those. Her personality is okay. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. And something I'm looking forward to her is seeing how she grows, you know, how she grows out of being the lazy nobleman's daughter. I think that's something interesting, so I really like her, really strong, but she's just getting just a tad bit overplayed, so A tier. If it wasn't for how exaggerated I think the marketing is with her laziness, then it would probably be S tier. Hubert goes into S tier. I love Hubert, man. When he was revealed, everyone was like, oh, Hubert, he's gonna be the villain. Like, look at that, that's the evil guy's face. And I was just like, I don't know, I like this guy. Like, they made jokes that, oh, yeah, it's Professor Snape, because, you know, the Harry Potter stuff and whatever. But I like Hubert. I like his design. He's similar to Didu, where, you know, he looks intimidating, but he's not. Except it's a little twisted, because Hubert actually is intimidating. Like, he's actually very strict and stern, and, like, he doesn't really socialize much. But when it comes to Edelgard, like, he's a completely different person with her. And I think that's really cool. I like that dynamic that they have, where he can be a different person around her because of the unique relationship that they have. I think that's going to be really nice to just sort of delve into and sort of explore a little more. His design, I really like it. Like, I like how, you know, he just looks like he's done with everything. Like, he's just like, like, you know, it fits his personality nicely. And, like, it's small, but in some of the promotional stuff that we've seen, you can notice when he's with Edelgard, he has, like, a softer expression. Like, he smiles more, he's not as scowly, he's more relieved, and I really like that, how he's such a different person around her. And I think that's really cool. I think it gives something to his character. Next we have Ignates? I never knew how to pronounce your name. And he goes into D tier because I have no idea who he is! Like, who is this guy? I don't see him in any of the promotional material. I haven't seen him in any of the trailers, really. I haven't seen him focused on anything. Like, who is this guy? I don't know anything about him. Why are they not talking about him? I think the only thing I've seen about him is the meme, that's a guy, and that's the only reason I know it's a guy. Because I know nothing about him. Like, I don't know his personality, I don't know his interests, I don't know his likes, I don't know anything about him. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Like, who are you? Why are you not being focused on? So he gets D tier just because I don't know anything about him. And I've been looking through, like, a lot of the information presented. It's not like I've just been glancing every now and then. I've been digging into all of these characters, and I can't find much for him. And I can't find anything memorable about him. He's just so bland. He's just there. Like, I want to like him. I want to like all of these characters, because again, they all have something. But for him, they haven't given us anything yet. Who are you? Why should I care about you? Moving on to Lorenz, he goes into C tier. For starters, there's his design, which I don't hate. I hate his hair, but other than that, I don't hate his design. I think the rose that he has is pretty cool, I like it. But the reason he gets C tier is because his personality, he's supposed to be a charming womanizer, but they already did this much better in a different character that we'll get to later. So it seems kind of repetitive and unnecessary. And other than that, I just don't really care much for him. He's just kind of there. I don't care much for Lorenz. Sathya. She gets A tier. She would be S tier if we knew a little more about her, but she hasn't been focused too much on the promotional material. What I like about her is her design. I love it. I love how long her white hair is. I think it works very nicely for her. And then the other thing that I like about her is she's a prodigy. So she's the youngest student at the monastery. She's a prodigy. She's a genius. And I just really like that. Like, the prodigy trope in Fire Emblem, it's a mixed bag. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. It's iffy, but usually I like it. And I'm really interested to see where they take Sathya with it. I love her design, as I said, her personality. I don't know too much about her personality. It hasn't really been too much of a focus, so I don't know too much about her personality. But given that she's a prodigy, it could go one of two ways. Either A, she could be very full of herself, similar to, I guess similar to Lute. Lute was kind of full of herself. Or she could be very judgmental of herself, similar to Cordelia. And considering that her last name is Cordelia, I see them taking that route. Where, you know, she's very critical of herself, and she's very hesitant, and she doesn't really believe all of the praise that everyone gives her. So I think that could be interesting. Either direction that they take it could work, because I like Lute. Lute's really good. So if they go the direction where, you know, she's kind of oblivious but full of herself, I think that could work. I don't know. Either way, Sathya is a character I'm looking forward to, really interested in her. Maybe there is more about her personality and I just missed it. I'm gonna have to do a bit more digging, but we'll see. Marianne. Marianne goes into... I want to put her in S tier because I love her design. Like, I love her face, how she's just like so done with everything. She's just like her face, but I don't know too much about her. So A tier. I can't put her in S tier because I just don't know enough about her. Like, what I know about her is she likes animals. She's very religious. She likes animals. She's very religious. Not too much of a people person, and everyone's making the joke, oh, she's a typical tired college student, because her eyes are just so done with everything. I love that about her. I love her design, her sulken eyes. I love her hair. Her hair looks so nice. People saying that she's Berkut and Renea's long-lost daughter. I think that's really cool. It's obviously not going to be true, but if it were to be true, that'd be really, really interesting, really cool. But they didn't get a happy ending, so no. But yeah, I just love everything about her. I feel like her and Verna Detta would become best friends because they both hate people. I mean, they don't hate people, but they're just not good with people. Like, Verna Detta is just really shy and awkward, whereas Marianne is just more of an animal person. But I feel like they'd make good friends. I'm gonna do that, actually. When I play this game, I'm gonna pick Blue Lions, and then I'm gonna recruit both of them and have them become best friends. Even if they don't have supports, I'm gonna make them best friends. I'm gonna do that. But yeah, so that's gonna be really fun. If we knew more about her likes and dislikes, then she'd be S tier. But as is, just based off of her personality and her, I guess, her appearance, just A tier. Really strong character. I really love her. I'm probably gonna recruit her, but I don't know yet. Mercedes goes into S tier because a lot of people are complaining about her voice lines being not as good, and yeah, they could be better. I agree her voice lines could be better, but I still love them nonetheless. And I love how, you know, she's older than everyone else, or she says she's older anyways. She doesn't really look the part, but she says she's older, and that kind of fits into her personality. You know, she's kind of like the motherly figure. Like, she's very warm and caring about them, and I think that's nice. I like that. Her design I really like. I like how she has like the little I don't even know what it's called. It looks like looks kind of like a mix between a cloak and a cardigan. I'm sure there's a name for that, but I don't know what it's called because I'm not good with clothing names. But I love that little thing that she has. She just wraps herself with. That looks really nice. I love it. And just overall, she's friends with Annette. Like, they're close friends, and I can see that. I can see the two of them meshing well together. So that's cool. That's nice. But yeah, really interested in that. Petra goes into S tier. I love Petra's design. Absolutely love her design. It's so unique, so creative, so nice. I love her backstory, where, you know, she's from a vassal state and she transferred there. And so, you know, she doesn't really understand the language and she speaks broken English. That adds a lot of, it adds a lot to her. It adds her, uniqueness. You know, she's kind of the outsider. She doesn't really belong there. And I'm really interested in how they're gonna play that up. Play up the, aspect of being the outsider. She looks like she's gonna be a lot of fun to play with. They've seen her in they portrayed her in a few of the trailers, and she looks like a pretty good unit. I haven't looked too deeply into the stats and everything for these characters. That's something I haven't done, cause I don't know. I just haven't really done that. So this isn't including viability as a unit. This is just personality, likes, dislikes, appearance, that kind of stuff. This is a very this is a pretty vague tier list because it's just like first impressions and stuff. But anyways, I think she's going to be a lot of fun to have as a unit. She's really interesting. Like I said, I love the broken English, love the design, love the backstory. Everything about her is just great. Okay, next is Rafael, and Rafael easily goes into S tier as well. I absolutely love this guy. He's probably one of my favorite. Yeah, actually, I'm going to move him up. He's one of my favorite male characters, just under Dimitri. I love his design. I love how he's just like so bulky that his shirt doesn't fit him. I think that's just, it's really just, it's funny, it's humorous, I like that. And then again, similar to Didu, his personality doesn't really mix with his appearance. Like, it mixes a bit more, because, you know, he's a tough guy, and he likes to, like, work out and stuff and get stronger. So it's not as contrasting as Didu, where, you know, he likes to garden and be nice and polite and stuff. But at the same time, it's not like Raphael's like a jerk or anything. It's not like he picks on people because he's bigger than them. You know, he's a kind guy too. Like, he's just trying to get stronger so that he can fight and protect people, and that's really nice. His hair is really cool. Like, it's just like this blonde mess. Like, his hair is just a mess, but I love that about him. So I'm just really interested in where Raphael's gonna go. I just love everything about Rafael. Sylvane goes into. I have too many people in S tier, but I love all these characters. I might reorganize this just a little bit. Sylvane goes into S tier because he's the far better version of Lorenz. Sylvane and Lorenz have a similar thing going on where they're both womanizers. You know, they're both massive flirts. They both like to pick up chicks, so to say. Like, they both just like to, you know, go after girls. But Sylvane's far better at it than Lorenz. I mean, that's not a fact, but just look at them. Just look at them and tell me, you, as a female watching, if you are a female watching this video, just tell me you would pick Lorenz over Sylvane. I don't think so. I'm not a female, and I wouldn't pick Lorenz over Sylvane. It's Sylvane all the way, man. He's much more suave. He's much cooler. Lorenz is kind of like he's kind of a prick based off of what we've seen, based off of the voice lines and other preview. Lorenz is kind of a prick. Like, I don't know why girls would go with him when they could go with Sylvane instead. Like, Sylvane's he's just a nice guy. Like, look at even in the portrait, like, you know, he's just like you know, rubbing his shoulder, like he's rubbing the back of his neck. He's just like, hey, how you doing? You know, he's just a cool guy. He's suave. He's charming. I really like that about him. And, you know, as Dimitri said, there's much more to him than that. Like, he has much more going on. He has the backstory where his older brother didn't have a crest, so he became the next in line instead. So, you know, he has the responsibility that he never thought he'd have. And I think that's really interesting. And the other reason I just love him so much is because he really reminds me of Sane from Blazing Blade. Why did it take me so long to remember that name? He reminds me of Sane, and Sane's one of my favorite Cavaliers. But Sylvane is just going to be really... I mean, Sylvane? Sane? Come on. It's like, it's right in front of you. But yeah, I just love him. Absolutely love him. Linhart. Linhart I'll put in B tier, because there's, similar to Ash, there's just not that much. Like, he has a bit more than Ash, because he has the crest research, and he has taking naps. And that's kind of it. That's kind of his character. He likes to take naps, and he likes to research crests, and that's kind of it. Actually, I'll put him in C tier. I don't know enough about him for A tier. I'm gonna move the buy list to the end. Yeah, I'll put Linhart in C tier, actually, not B. Just because there's not too much to him than that. Like, I'm sure he has more to him. I'm sure he has much more depth. But for now, I don't know. It just doesn't really work too much for me. Ingrid goes into S tier. Ingrid being childhood friends with Sylvane and Dmitri. I think the three of them are going to be such a really nice pair. I think they're going to work really well together, really strong. I love her design. Her design is top tier. Her personality seems to be really nice. Like, you know, she's kind and caring, but she also likes to eat, apparently. Like, I think that's really cool. I love it. I think she's going to be a great character. I can't wait to see what more she has to offer. And then finally there's Leone, and I'll put Leone in C tier. Cause, I don't know, she just doesn't really work too much for me. Like, I like her personality, her character being about looking up to Geralt and wanting to be a mercenary, and, you know, wanting to be financially stable and stuff. That's pretty interesting. That's something to consider, you know? It's realistic, I guess, but I don't know, she just doesn't really work too much for me. Like, I mean, okay, we all know Geralt's gonna die. There's no getting around that. It's a Fire Emblem trope. As old as Fire Emblem tropes. Geralt is going to die. That's just a fact. And if he doesn't die, that is the greatest subversion ever, and I will adore Fire Emblem Three Houses for it. But I don't see them subverting that. I don't see them subverting Geralt's death. So if he dies, what's left of Leone's character? Like, she still wants to be a mercenary, okay, but her idol's kind of gone. Like, that would be like, what would happen to Dorothea if Manuela died? You know, she'd lose a part of her character. So I don't know. Maybe she'll grow on me, but I don't see too much of her right now. Alright, so that's our tier list so far. Let me make a couple of minor adjustments, move a few people around, and then I'll make the finalized tier list. Okay, so here is the finalized tier list. I moved around a bit of the S tiers, and then I moved Claude up to B tier, because he didn't really fit in with all of the other Cs. So, this is my Fire Emblem Three Houses characters tier list. It's a bit tough to make because, like I said, some characters have a lot more promotional material than others, like Ignatz here, who just has absolutely nothing, compared to the three main lords who are in literally everything. And then there are some characters like Byleth, who they can't give away too much information because they're, you know, they're very plot relevant. So this is it's very superficial, but this is my thoughts on them so far. As you can see, I love the Blue Lions. Like, the Blue Lions are just, they make up the top tiers. And then, as you can see, I don't really care much for the Black Eagle, or for the Golden Deers. Like, they're kind of on the lower end. But that's just sort of my opinion right now. Who knows how things will change. I am going to be playing Blue Lions the first time I play, and I'm hopefully going to be streaming Fire Emblem Three Houses when it comes out. I'm still trying to figure out all of the inner workings of streaming, and I've been terribly sick, so I haven't been able to practice streaming. I'm still kind of sick right now. I'm still recovering. If you can tell in my voice, it's not the best. But hopefully I can get better, and hopefully I can stream Three Houses, because I'm going to love it. And after I'm done with Three Houses, and after I played through all the paths and everything, probably a year from now, because I want to take my time with it, but probably a year from now, we're going to revisit this tier list, and see what has changed, you know? Hopefully everyone is in S tier. Hopefully I just love everyone. And hopefully no one goes down, because I don't want to like a character less over time. I want to like them more. But either way, let me know what you think. You know, if you want to make your tier list, I'll add the link in the description as always. That's all I really have to say. Let me know what you think of it. Let me go ahead and hate on me because I don't like the Golden Deers, because everyone loves the Golden Deers, but They don't work for me. They're just kind of boring. They're not as good as Black Eagles and Blue Lions. I cannot speak or think. But either way, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.